Good morning. It's me again. Has been has been an interesting last couple of days. For some unknown reason, the power in the basement is completely gone. Yeah, I'm brushing my hair. It's kind of a task. Um, the the water heater's kind of working, which is good because I can get dishes done and people can get laundry done. We're just not sure about showers because there's five of us, and sometimes it can take a lot to get a shower in. Um, yeah, I'm also noticing my vision's not that great, so yeah, that's a thing. Come on. So I'm trying to get my hair brushed out. Can really be a task. For thin as it is, it can be a pain in the butt. Ugh, maybe I'll just deal with some of that later. That in the back is just, ugh, it just drives me nuts. But yeah, the power, somehow we lost power to the basement only. The rest of the house is fine, as you can see. Um, we have an electrician coming over. He's supposed to be here. He was supposed to be here yesterday, but something happened. He got held up. This kind of work can be like one job is easy, the next job is what the fuck. So yeah, so it's not too big of a deal. Like I said, the hot water heater is working, so we're able to do some stuff. And um I might try and get a bath in today if the guy shows up and it's an easy fix. Because we're thinking it might be something like fuses, but we can't see where the fuses are. And if we take apart the fuse box or the breaker box, we could get electrocuted. So that's why we have an electrician coming. I have no idea what's going on because the fuse box or the breaker box, whatever you want to call it, it looks newer than the house because back when they built this house, they were still using the fuses, the little glass things that you would either twist out or pop in. I think by 76 it was the pop in version, like the ones that are similar to the ones you had in cars. They weren't doing the little glass knob thing anymore. Um, but yeah, so we can't tell if the fuse is blown or if something is just catastrophically wrong. At least it's only affecting the basement, and at this point, it's fine. It'll only be an issue during winter, but we're hoping that it doesn't get too cold because the pipes are down there. I want those water pipes to freeze. Um, but the guy's supposed to be here today at some point. Um, and I'm hoping that he can fix that'll be something easy. Um, and it'll just get fixed. So, but I know, like I said, electricity is very difficult sometimes, so it could be complicated. And with the house being old as it is, it's possible that there's just something wrong with the fucking house. And I'm hoping not that because that might mean we may have to move, which is going to be a pain in the ass since nobody has any money. Well, we have money, it's just we don't have that kind of money. Maybe we can do a GoFundMe or something, but I'll have to have one of the kids do it because I don't got anybody that'll give me money. So that's just where that is. I don't even know if I can do Patreon. And I hear all these guys talking about stores on 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 this platform. I don't know anything about that. But it seems like a lot of them are going through like a third party, which probably, but I don't know. I don't really know if I would be able to. Like I've got 4 subscribers, or at least the last time I checked, I had 4 subscribers. So I don't really know if 4 people are going to make a massive difference in my situation. But yeah, that just sucks. And I'll keep you guys updated. So no, people have emergencies. As far as emergencies goes, this is nothing. It's just an inconvenience for us. It just makes it a little bit harder. But the good news is you can store food in the basement and it won't go bad. I guess that's the bright side. Um, But yeah, I'll let the electrician out here and figure out what the hell's going on and see if he can fix it. And if he can't, if it's catastrophic, then we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. I've mentioned to the kids several times we might want to look into getting into something more like a trailer. Um, they're cheaper. They are constant maintenance, but you'd hire a contractor. Um, because none of us know how to do that. But it has it's just every few years you got to replace something because it's a trailer. Um, it's not that they're built to last. It's just that they're built cheap. Even the good ones, the Alaska belts that I love, because you can stay pretty warm during the winter. They're I don't even know if that company's still around. It's been so long. They're still cheaper than buying an actual house. That's just yeah. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't mind buying myself a piece of property and just like putting a couple houses on it and be like, there, we're fine, we're not going anywhere. Well, maybe three, because John and Shania would probably want their house, and then Eli might want a house. But I might wait on Eli's because I don't know what's gonna really be happening with Eli. Um, and then there's also the possibility of like Justin or some of his family, because Justin's my other son. There were issues with the timing, so I had to give him up for adoption so that I could make sure that he was taken care of properly because I did not want to be like my mother, and from the sounds of it, it would have been pretty bad because he has it seems like the same type of autism that Eli has, but it's worse. And the different degrees are just because Eli has mostly moments where you wouldn't know that he's disabled at all until you get him uncomfortable. And then you start seeing it. With Justin, he seems like a little kid, like 90% of the time. I mean, I'm not being rude, it's just his mindset is a lot more like a little kid than a grown adult. So, yeah, that might be a little bit difficult, but I think a lot of us are in the same place too, where if I could get a place, just a big enough piece of land, I could put a few houses on it, and just we're all set. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But land is expensive, everything is expensive, food is expensive, transportation's expensive. Ugh. But yeah, I don't. But like I said, don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But yeah, it's a bit stressful right now. But who knows? Maybe at some point things will get easier. Maybe people will get into spaceships and go out and live in space, and there'll be less of us, and well, on the Earth, and then that'll be like less stressful on the planet or whatever the hell it is that's happening. This could just be like a cycle thing because we're getting close to the time frame when the depression happened last century. Um, so it could just be like a cycle thing, and since we're not dependent on ourselves anymore, it's more obvious. Um, that's um that's my theory on it anyway. Um, but I think that it'll be okay. I think in the long run it'll be okay. Don't want to get ahead of myself too much. Don't want to freak people out. There's enough people out there doing that. Um, even talking about relationships in a weird way. I was watching this guy. I'm not gonna say who he is because I don't really feel like I'm really an influencer, but I can talk about the things that I'm noticing, and then maybe you can pick up on it if you come across some of these same things. Because this seems to be like when people start talking about relationship advice, this seems to be pretty consistent. They'll be correct on some issues, and they will admit that people will do these negative things that we're noticing in the relationships, and they'll do it and they will even tell you the real reason why they're doing it, and then they'll go and try to make it sound like it's your fault that you're not attracting these good people, when in reality society is telling certain people to act like dogs It don't matter. It's fuck whoever. And it does matter. I mean, like if you want to be these, I get tired of hearing it whenever I try to date. You you talk about the long term. You talk about getting married. You talk about the family, the situation. But then you go and you sleep with every hoe bunny that is in existence. That's your behavior is not consistent with your words. um, and a lot of these relationship advice expert people um don't point that out. You know, if somebody is telling you what you want to hear, you gotta pay attention to what they're doing. And you can end a relationship if you're not comfortable with it. I mean, don't tell the woman that she's uncomfortable because it's a good man, or don't tell the person that they're uncomfortable because the other person is a good person. Because these days, you don't even know what you guys are after. Some of y'all, I don't want to know. Seriously, don't tell me. I'm not a prude, I'm just raised in a different generation, and I was like dragged to church with different morals than what people seem to have nowadays. So there's some stuff that my little pea brain can't handle or wrap around, so we're just not gonna go there. Um, but yeah, and I just don't like it that people will like give you half the information and then like the other half is false. The specific statement, the specific thing that I was noticing with this guy that I found who was saying that he's a relationship expert, um, was that he had things you should never say to a man, and some of them, like he'd start out um, with stuff that you probably shouldn't say. Like, why can't you be like this other person? Well, that's another person. They can't be like somebody else. They're who they are. And yeah, honestly, if you're in a situation where you want to know why they can't be like the other person, then maybe you should not be in that relationship because that means that something's bothering you and you're putting it off on the other person. Well, it could be something they're doing, but you got to be able to express to them if they're doing something that's bothering you. And then if you keep having the same conversation over and over and over, that's probably a sign to get out. Um, Especially when it's like, you keep doing this thing. It feels disrespectful to me. Stop doing that thing. And they keep doing the thing. You know, uh, that's probably time to leave. But then other things, like I think it was just a game. It's just a game. Don't tell a man when he's playing video games that it's just a game because that's his sanctuary. No, if I'm taking care of your kids and they're tearing my house up and I gotta go to work and you're in the other room playing video games, I'm gonna tell you get your ass off the video game because you're an adult and you have responsibilities. Yeah, I told my son I'll hide the router. Or whatever the thing is called. I'll hide it. And you won't know where it is until you do what you're supposed to do. And if I find myself having to treat my spouse or my husband or whatever, my man, like he's 12 years old, I'm probably not going to want to stay in that relationship. So that was like, um, to me, even my son thought that was hilarious. Um, you know, if a man needs some relaxation time and he actually can do it, like there's no kids running around screaming and acting up when you have to go to work, um, then that's fine. But if that's his life, if all he does is go to work and come home, play video games and go to sleep, where's the relationship? So yeah, that's the thing. But um and I think what it was is out of context. A lot of these things were out of context. And he says stuff like women should be more feminine, shouldn't wear dark clothing, we should come at a man with the same energy we come at children. Um, yeah, and I've done some of this stuff. It doesn't work because the man that is going to be attracted to you for who you are is the man that you want, not the man that's attracted to you because you're acting like some Barbie that's over there. Yeah, And I don't know how we got hard. It's probably because, I mean, like, hard souled. It's probably because of all the men that's been taking advantage of us for all of our lives, and we get to where we can see it before they even open their mouths. We gotta trust our instincts and not these guys. Though it is interesting to see this stuff from a man's point of view. That's part of the reason why I'm not gonna say who it is, because it is interesting to see it from his point of view, and it actually shows you how disconnected from reality a lot of men are. Um, but I have a feeling that he's gonna have the same type of scandal as, I think his name was Derek Jackson. He was everywhere all the time, this attractive black dude talking about relationships and doing these little video clips, this like flirty video clip things, to show people how to act and stuff. And then they found out he's living in a mansion. I believe it was that they found out he was living in a mansion in LA, and his family, his wife and kids, are somewhere in poverty. Yeah, that was a scandal because he was telling people he was single and he wasn't. Yeah, that's the kind of guy you can't tell. He's so charismatic and suave. You can't tell if he's lying. That's the other thing. But, whatever. But I do, like I said, he is this. These guys are interesting to watch because to see it from a male point of view, and to see that they're actually lying to themselves about some of this stuff, it's just ridiculous. And I don't even know that I would date that guy anyway, even if I was somebody that he would be attracted to, because his presentation is ridiculous. Uh, that right there probably tells you who I'm talking about. Yeah, but guys, don't whine about the women that, what I'm gonna say is, guys, this is kind of a straight thing because I'm straight. Guys, don't whine about the women you're dating if you're talking about finding a good woman, but you're chasing skirts or hoes or however you want to put it. Cause you ain't looking for a good woman, you're looking to get laid. That's that's kind of the lies we tell ourselves. And women, we gotta be careful. And some of us act the same way. It's not just a man thing. You can't be whining about how that man's a dog and then you just go after the first guy who just looks good. There got to be more to it. I think part of it is we've gotten so used to instant gratification that we're going for these relationships where we can get sex or some other positive gratification right away. We don't really even take the time to get to know each other to find out if there actually is a connection. And I've been trying to, my roommate and I are kind of trying to figure out how to do that. But we're both finding the same thing, that we want to wait till we know the person and then they get bored and they go and cheat on us or say some weird stuff about Donald Trump wanting to take control of us because we can't make decisions on our own. Okay, so that guy was probably schizophrenic, so yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of like not really dating at the moment. I just sometimes like to see what other people think about it. When I came here, I did try the dating app on Facebook, and yeah, I got two stalkers who probably rapists, and the guy that actually showed up, oh, some guy that seemed interested and then disappeared, and then the guy that actually showed up that was schizophrenic. So yeah, that's not my thing. I have no idea why I'm so attracted to schizophrenics, but I don't like it. Um, they're very dangerous people at times, especially when you're small and disabled, because they don't have control over what they're doing, and a lot of them don't want to acknowledge they have a problem, so they're not gonna be like, I'm gonna go to counseling and take my medication. They're gonna be like, oh, it's all your fault because the guy that doesn't exist said you did, blah 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 blah, and then the church didn't like me because blah 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 blah. That's just nonsense. Yeah, my son's dad's schizophrenic. He actually tried to tell me that we broke up because the church didn't like him. We broke up because he tried to kill me. Yeah, and the church liked him. They didn't like me because this was in Arkansas and I'm from not Arkansas. About as not Arkansas as you can get. Washington State, Seattle area, Bellingham, up near Canada. Um, Women have rights here. Definitely they don't in Arkansas. They didn't like me because I didn't want to put up with their shit. I didn't want to get married off to some ancient old man just because I was pregnant. Who cares? It's not a scandal to me. My parents were hippies. You had kids with whoever. I mean, it just, people tell me it's like going back in time. It was more like going into the Twilight Zone because it was like so different and people hated each other for the dumbest reasons. It was stupid. Oh, I think I might have left Jasper in the bathroom. Oops. Whoops. Well, yeah. Um, I should probably go. Yeah, I got on a little tangent about relationships. It's just I've been stressed, so yeah, been a lot of stress. So for the electrical. So I'm gonna go because he's complaining. I didn't get too many sales this week, but that's okay because I got a whole bunch of them the week prior. And I might still get some more sales. I just, this coming week, as we get closer to Valentine's, I've got a bunch more Valentine's stuff up there. So, yeah, I'm gonna go let Jasper out and, gotta put him up because if I open the back door, he just, and then he gets like hit by a car or something and, or no, he hides and I try to get him and I fall. Yeah, that's great. So I don't want to like play that game, so I put him up. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day, and I'll give you an update on the electrical when we figure it out. Bye.